Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me again. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. Today is July 5th, 2021. I'm going to come at everybody with an episode today about listing and why it's very important, just why it's the most important thing you're going to be doing as a reseller. So here's an unpopular message to most millennials and Gen Zers who probably don't have to put or don't want to put in the hours of work that maybe our predecessors had to put in to do anything else. You have to work a ridiculous amount of hours and put in an incredible amount of energy to do one thing very well. So there's a caveat to this, and that's that this is something you do in the beginning if you want to build a brand, which is sort of what you want to do as a reseller. You do want to build a brand. You want to build something that people keep coming back to. They want to notice your store on eBay. They want to come back to your store on Poshmark because they can rely on you for really consistent business or very consistent service. Here's how you can relate to this. So most of us remember school. Some of you are probably still in school if you're watching this. You cracked open a book and you spent the time immersing yourself into that subject. You probably did incredibly well on the final exam or on whatever exam was coming up. I remember when I took organic chemistry, I spent hours on problems, reading the textbook, taking practice exams, and I just focused on the class during the summer rather than taking it during the school year when I was busy with other stuff. So taking Orgo took time and it took dedication, and doing well in the subject took time and it took dedication. When I slacked in really difficult classes, it was really hard to do well when exam time came. I mean, I could cram as much as possible, but things just became exponentially more difficult. The same thing happens with reselling. So when you get started, you need to work insanely hard in the beginning, far more than in any W-2 wage earning job. You need to list, you need to cross list, you need to source, you need to ship. You need to do all of that by yourself. In the very beginning, probably don't want anybody to outsource this because you really want to be the one to set the parameters and set the foundation for your business. So what's going to happen when you start your eBay store from scratch? I'm not talking about buying somebody's store that gets tons of traffic already, which some people do, and some of these other YouTubers have done. I'm talking about starting a basic store that's tiny and it's going to grow slowly, right? So you're going to start off listing. You're probably going to start listing maybe 10 items a day. You're not going to get 10 sales in that day. You're going to get a fraction of the amount you listed in a day. So if you want fast growth or faster growth, I mean, it's definitely not going to be an overnight thing, but you count on listing 100 items per day, right? That's not a small task. That's a huge task, and it'll take up life. You won't be going out. You won't be seeing, your friends. You're not going to be seeing your family. This model is really good, for somebody who, is young, single, with, a few obligations. This is a great model for the person who does not want to go to college either, which I, actually discourage you from doing, despite the fact that I did a lot of schooling. I discourage you from going to college. If you're young and you don't think college is for you, you just want to live rent-free with your parents while building up a business that will net you more money than all of us idiots who did go to school and are drowning in debt and probably have 9-to-5 jobs and that pay a ransom, aka a salary, are doing, this is a good model for you. So here's why eBay is actually awesome. So true startups like, what Airbnb or Facebook were, those unicorns that, you hear about, they exited for $1 billion or whatever, or they IPO'd for $1 billion. Just these crazy, one in a million stories. Those are incredibly risky businesses. And no matter how awesome or smart of a person you are very, very likely to fail in pursuing that line, right? I'm not a stupid person, but honestly, if I were trying to build a unicorn of a business, I probably would fail. And I mean, I have tried in the past and it has failed. Startups are not about hard work because there's a lot of hardworking people. There's people who are working 5 jobs, supporting 6 kids. They're working really, really hard. They're working harder than you or me, but they're not making a lot of money. They're probably making minimum wage or less. So startups are not about hard work. They're about timing and luck. So let somebody else build a startup, right? Don't waste your time trying to think that you're going to be the next person to do it. I mean, if you're really set on doing that, great. I mean, more power to you. You have a 9 in 10 chance of failing. But let someone else build that startup. Let someone else go through the mental torment of building a true startup, and you just go ahead and run a business off of somebody else's startup. It's a lot more secure and a lot more in your control. So eBay, for example, it was once a disruptive startup. It changed e-commerce forever. Even though we say that Amazon changed e-commerce forever. It was really eBay that gave resellers an opportunity to take items and make them available to millions of other people and build businesses off of its platform. So eBay did the heavy lifting for us. You don't need to shoot for a crazy unicorn because the odds are that you'll never reach that point. And it's super discouraging to hear that, but it's just the truth. So what you can do is make $1 million off of reselling on eBay by grinding really, really hard. So take that $1 million, right, that you make from eBay, and $1 million is a fraction of what, these big unicorns actually make. $1 million is actually very attainable. And you invest it like crazy, right? You don't do stupid shit like go and buy a nice car. Take money that you make from reselling and 10x that money. Take that money, invest it into Amazon private label items, buy properties that you can rent or Airbnb out to other people, start running a Turo business. But to get to those other businesses and to really 10x the money you make on eBay, you need a solid eBay business. And that's not going to take, that's not an overnight thing. That's going to take a few years. Now, why is listing so important? eBay at its core, more than a platform, more than a business, it's an algorithm. It delivers that type of content that it thinks buyers want to see in the form of things that the buyer will actually buy. eBay is going to deliver certain ads or items to a buyer based on their previous eBay browsing history, based on what's in their cart, stuff like that. eBay will reward sellers who are the most active on their app. So imagine you're a seller and you constantly list 10 items or 50 items or 60 items every single day consistently. That's great. That will get you really far in eBay's mind, and eBay will reward you with sales. And it's the same with Poshmark, with any of these other platforms. They're all algorithms. But the seller who's consistently listing like a crazy number of items per day, like hundreds of items per day, even 100 items a day is a lot. They're going to be rewarded far more than the seller who's listing 10 items per day. eBay loves that consistency, and they love sellers who are going to be active on their website or app. So they will reward you in turn for that behavior. So you probably will get burned out from listing on eBay if you're a sole person and you're listing like 100 items all by yourself in the beginning. So that's probably not sustainable because listing just gets repetitive and really boring. I personally hate listing. I just know that I have to do it, so I do it. So if you're just getting started, stick to a number of items that you're going to list daily and just start doing it. Increase as you go, along until you're happy, right, with that peak number that you're listing at daily. So what I do is, if I get into a rut, I go back to listing at 10 a day, and then I increase to 11 a day, and then I increase to 12 a day. And I might do that day after day after day. So Wednesday I might do 10, Thursday I might do 11, until I get to that number where I'm feeling comfortable. So just get to that number where you're comfortable, because just remember, right now you're brand new. Your listing is your business. So get used to listing, get used to working those long hours, because that's what nobody else is doing, right? To get to this point where, you're making a significant amount of money, you have financial freedom, you're able to support yourself, you're hiring employees, you need to do things differently than most people. Most people have a W-2 wage earning job. And I don't know what the tax is, the tax form is in like Australia or the UK or wherever else. So whatever that equivalent is, most people are just getting a job and getting a paycheck and making a set amount of money. If you want to start your own business and you want to resell as your own business, this is what you have to do. You really have to list. So if eBay was a take-home test, and you're being graded on one thing, it would be your consistent listing. So listing is really important. It's really hard to build a habit in the very beginning, especially if you don't love listing. Listing requires that you take photos, you write a description, you research that item, you give it a fair price, determine whether you'll charge for shipping or offer free returns. Listing takes a lot of brain power. It doesn't seem like it's that hard, but it is actually pretty hard. But hey, if you want to make a full-time income off of eBay, you have to put in the hours. It's more than a 9-to-5 job, I'll tell you that. You can restrict yourself to 9 to 5 so that you could have some semblance of normalcy. But I'll tell you, it's, if you really want to be taking this and making it like a launch pad for other things in your life, that's what you just have to do. So everybody, thanks for joining today. I hope this was insightful. I'll leave some of my links below. If you want to sign up for Super Posher, for example, and you want a way to automate your listings, I'll leave that link down below. I also use List Perfectly to cross-list my items, so I'll leave my referral code down below as well. Please consider subscribing if you like this content, and I'll see you guys later.